Hello, this is Charlotte from Yarns About Yarn, and today's tutorial I want to show you how to add a block of color when you're working in the round so that the block of color doesn't twist. So let's get started. Okay, there's a lot going on in this piece. This piece is actually the snout for my Sly the Fox Stuffie, and what's happening here is we have a color change here, we have increases in this round, and we have an invisible join and a color change here. This is my stitch marker for the start of the round. Now when you're working in continuous rounds, because your first stitch moves for each round, what happens is it twists your color block. So you don't get a uniform straight color block like I have here. So I want to show you this technique that can help solve that problem. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the last stitch for this white shade. And the stitch that I'm using is a variation of the single crochet that I use in amigurumi. And it's I'm going to start it again to show you. Instead of yarning over like you normally do for a single crochet, you're going to yarn under. So this is my last stitch, and I'm going to do the color change. So I've yarned under. I'm going to drop the white behind, and I'm going to pick up the orange color, and I'm going to float that behind here, and I'm going to yarn under again, and I'm going to pull that through the way you would do a standard color change, and just adjust my tension a little bit on the white. So I'm going to float the orange behind, but I don't want the floated yarn to be tight and draw on my work, so I'm going to create some slack there, and I'm going to do my first stitch in this section of the orange, and I'm yarning under, pulling through, and I'm going to do an increase. And if I was doing the same sequencing, my first stitch would be an increase, but I'm going to move that stitch because that would also make this line twist. So I'm going to move that stitch for this section. It still gives me the number of stitches that I need for the round, but by moving it, it doesn't make the orange color move over here. So I'm going to now do the increase in this next stitch. So I'm going to do two of my, I call these the X single crochet because they create an X, and the advantage of this stitch is that it's a tighter stitch for amigurumi, which helps to reduce your stuffing from poking out. And I'm going to do the last stitch of the round here, and I'm going to complete this stitch. Even though we're doing a color change, I'm going to complete it. So I'm going to drop that color off of my hook, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to start the invisible join. And so I'm going to put my hook through the first stitch where my stitch marker is, and I'm going to put my hook from the back to the front. Can remove that marker from that first stitch, and I'm going to add the last color onto my hook. Find the right yarn here that I'm working with, and I'm going to pull that loop right through, and that creates the invisible join. So now I want to do the invisible color join, and I'm going to be working with the white next, and I want to float the white behind, so I'm going to create some slack there, and I'm going to pull the white through that orange color, my previous color, and I'm going to pull that orange really tight, and it sort of disappears there. And now I've got my white on that I can continue working. And in this case, you're going to work into the same stitch that you did the invisible join. So I'm going to do my first stitch in the same stitch, and this will be an increase stitch. So I'm going to do my first stitch, yarning under both times, and I will mark that stitch as my first stitch so it doesn't get lost. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another one for my increase in the same stitch. And I'm going to continue to work the sequence of my pattern, and just continue to work your stitches as it's laid out in your pattern. So there's my join, and if you get a bit of a loop here, you can see that I have a larger loop here, so I'm just going to go back now and find the right one and pull my tension tight. So the loop is gone. I've got my next round started, and I've got a straight edge here and a straight edge here, and my increases happen in the middle of the color join, so it keeps everything from twisting. So if you found this tutorial helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel, as I always have new tutorials coming. And in the meantime, this is Charlotte from Yarns About Yarn, and peace and blue skies.